Chapter 7, there's really not much limitation on who can file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. The point of a Chapter 7 is to wipe out unsecured debt. And it's really up to you to decide how much is enough. You know, if you come in and say, I have one credit card for $500, I'm going to tell you not to file. But if you have a dozen payday lenders and they're all charging you 400% interest and they're all calling you and won't tell you who they are until you make a payment, and there's no possible way you're going to track down the right people and pay the right amount, then a bankruptcy would be useful regardless of how much money you owe, because you get a federal court order telling all of them to go away. So you have this backstop that lets you move on with life and stops them from following you. That's worth it. Now, some people come in with $4,000 worth of payday loans and it's worth it. Some people come in with $400,000 in medical. It's worth it, but it just depends on your situation, and it's not tied to a specific dollar amount. It's tied to why we care. We don't care that some guy with a green visor and a Ticonderoga #2 pencil is writing your name in a ledger somewhere. Who cares? We care what they're doing about it. We care that they're collecting. We care that they're calling. We care that they're suing. That's what bankruptcy stops. It stops collections. It stops them from bothering you. Stops the things that keeps you from living your life. Now, Chapter 13 is different. Chapter 13 is to help you with stuff you want to keep, not just getting rid of stuff we want to get rid of, but keeping the stuff we want to keep. And that means that we are going to set up a payment plan to pay for the house that you need for your family, the car you need to get to work, those types of debts. And again, we don't care how much debt we're getting rid of, because that's not the point. The point in a Chapter 13 isn't always to get rid of unsecured debt. You may be getting rid of that $400,000 in medical, but the time you were in the hospital may have also left you behind on the house. And that's what we care about. We don't care about the ledger somewhere that says you owe money. We care about how it affects your life. In this case, we're losing the house. Now, there are debt limits for a Chapter 13. If you owe too much money, then they don't want you in a Chapter 13. They assume that if you owe $3 million in unsecured debt, you're not a person filing a bankruptcy, you're a business. Even if you're doing business in your name, you're a business. And so you should be in a chapter 11 for businesses, just like all those big Wall Street guys. Well, the secret to that is what I kind of jokingly call a Chapter 20. That's where we go and we file a Chapter 7. We wipe out all that unsecured debt. Now that unsecured debt's gone, you don't have any debt limit issues. So then we file a Chapter 13 to get you caught up on your house. The court's protecting you from foreclosure while you're in the Chapter 7, and the court's letting you reorganize the payments on your house in your Chapter 13. 7 plus 13, that's your Chapter 20. That gets you around those limitations and allows you to get that result that you need. And again, it's another good reason to have a creative attorney.